I still can't believe how a simple argument over my backyard fence turned into the craziest neighborhood saga of my life. Pay this ridiculous $300 fine, or I'll have the sheriff haul you away. Our HOA queen bee. Linda barked at me one sunny afternoon in Oakwood Meadows, right here in sunny California. Her face twisted like I'd personally wrecked her perfect little world. I'm Jake Harlan, 47, owner of a small plumbing business. Just trying to keep things steady with my wife Emily, who's always been this quiet, home office type doing what she calls advisory gigs, bakes pies for the block parties, apologizes to the coffee table if she bumps it. You get the picture. But that day, Linda, our self-appointed HOA overlord, stormed over, waving a tape measure like a weapon, screaming about my hedge being a quarter-inch too wild, and when Emily stepped out to calm things down, Linda's eyes locked on her like she'd seen a demon from her past, muttering under her breath, You look like trouble," before spinning on her heel and vanishing into her manicured fortress across the street. It all kicked off about a year and a half ago when Emily and I bought this cozy split level in Oakwood, thinking it'd be our slice of suburban bliss. Barbecues, dog walks, the works. But Linda Hayes had just clawed her way to HOA president, and from day one, she had this weird vendetta against us, especially Emily. I'd catch her staring from her porch, binoculars in hand sometimes, like we were running a meth lab instead of just forgetting to edge the lawn once in a while. Emily noticed it too, that first meet and greet where Linda barely shook her hand, her grip limp as a wet noodle, and later Emily whispered to me, "Jake, something about her eyes. It's like she's trying to place me from a bad dream, but I can't pin it down." We shrugged it off at first. Maybe she was just one of those control freaks who hates newcomers. But then came the fines, starting small, $50 for unsightly mailbox decor, after we hung a little wind chime. And Emily, instead of tossing it in the trash like I wanted, sat down with her laptop, poring over codes and statutes like a pro, muttering, "This violates California Civil Code Section 47. 12, no proper notice, no appeal process. Jake, this isn't just petty. It's sloppy lawyering." I laughed it off, teasing her about her advisory work turning her into a mini Sherlock. But deep down, I felt this twinge. My sweet pie-baking wife was transforming into someone fierce, confident, like she'd been holding back a whole other side. As weeks dragged on, Linda's obsession ramped up. She'd cruise by our house in her shiny SUV, snapping pics of our yard like a paparazzo, even hired some shady PI to dig into our finances. I later found out from nosy old Mr. Wilkins next door, who overheard her bragging about it at the community pool. "She's asking if you two seem shady, how you afford that nice crossover," he told me one evening over beers, and I could see the worry in his eyes. Our block was splitting, some folks backing Linda's "rules are rules" mantra, others whispering she was unhinged. But Emily? She stayed cool as ice, cross-referencing every fine with legal precedents, and I'd overhear her on calls. "Pull the intimidation cases from the larceny file. Yes, repeat offender patterns." One night, I glimpsed a faded news clipping on her desk, a courthouse shot of a woman who kinda resembled Linda, head down in shame, and when I asked, Emily just sighed, "It's nothing, Jake." Or maybe everything. People change, but grudges? They fester. Linda's rage wasn't just about hedges anymore. It felt personal, like Emily symbolized every failure in her life, and she'd pace her yard at dusk, muttering to herself, "That voice, that smug authority, where do I know it from?" As if her subconscious was screaming warnings she couldn't quite hear. The turning point hit like a freight train at our monthly HOA blowout in the rec center, Linda strutting like she owned the place, slamming us with escalating fines now topping $400 for endangering property values, whatever that meant. And Emily, who'd been quietly building her case, stood up mid-meeting, folder in hand, her voice steady but slicing. Under state property law, these notices lack due process, no remediation window. And frankly, Miss Hayes, your measurements? They're off by federal standards. I've got the docs right here. The room went pin-drop silent. Linda's face morphed from smug to shocked, then furious, gripping her gavel so tight her knuckles whitened, stammering, You think you're so smart, citing codes like some hotshot. I've seen your type before." Emily didn't flinch, just countered with, "My type? Enlighten us, or is this about something deeper than my hedge?" Neighbors shifted uncomfortably. Mr. Wilkins leaned in, whispering to his wife, "This ain't about plants anymore," and Linda bolted after, slamming her car door, tears streaming as she glared at our house from the lot. But Linda didn't back down. She doubled down, convinced Emily was hiding something big, spreading whispers about our lavish life, not matching Emily's gig income, even tailing her to the grocery store once, cornering her in the parking lot with a hissed, "How does a nobody advisor afford organic everything and that pearl necklace? Smells like fraud to me." Emily just smiled that calm, unnerving smile, replying softly, "Careful, Linda. Accusations like that, they have consequences." Inside, though, Emily was piecing it together, late nights scrolling databases, comparing that old clipping to Linda's HOA headshot, and one evening she confided in me, "Jake, I think I've crossed paths with her before. In a courtroom, maybe. People like her, they blame the messenger for their messes." Her words hung heavy. I'd married this enigma, patient and kind, but now glimpses of steel showed through, born from years of dealing with chaos I never knew about. Then came the explosion. Linda, losing her grip, dials 911 right in her driveway, voice hysterical. "Officer, my neighbor's running a scam. Luxury life on peanuts. It's fraud, I tell you." I peeked from my garage, heart pounding, as Deputy Ramirez rolled up, Linda thrusting her evidence folder at him. Photos of our car, Emily's outfits, like a deranged detective. Emily answered the door in her power suit, mid-conference call, and Ramirez's jaw dropped. "Ma'am, Judge Harlan? From the federal bench downtown?" The block froze. Phones out, recording as Emily nodded gracefully. "That's right, Deputy, though I prefer to keep it low-key at home." Linda's world shattered. She staggered back, pointing wildly. "You! You're the DA who locked me up, ruined everything!" And there it was. Linda Hayes was actually Monica Reed, convicted embezzler who'd siphoned $150,000 from Bright Futures Foundation, a kids' education nonprofit, 8 years back. Emily, then a prosecutor, had nailed her case, sending her away for 2 years. Monica screamed, "I changed my name, started over. Why'd you have to move here and haunt me?" Emily, voice like velvet over iron, replied, "Monica, this isn't haunting, it's coincidence, but harassing a judge, that's digging your own grave deeper." The crowd erupted. Videos went viral, headlines screaming, "HOA tyrant exposed as felon targeting her old prosecutor." In the fallout, our quiet street turned circus. News vans, petitions for HOA audits. Turns out Monica skimmed petty cash there too. And Monica crumbling, sobbing on her lawn as neighbors shunned her. But Emily, ever the deeper soul, saw the broken woman beneath the bully. Monica's rage stemmed from unhealed shame, blaming Emily for exposing her gambling-fueled theft that hurt real kids needing scholarships. One midnight, after a slurred threat call, "You wrecked me once, won't happen again." Emily marched over, knocking firmly. "Monica, enough hiding. Face this, or it consumes you." Inside, Monica broke down, admitting she'd stalked Emily's career from prison, moved here on purpose for payback. But Emily offered a lifeline, a rehab program for ex-cons, restitution plan to Bright Futures, real job coaching finances legally. "Take it or face charges. Your choice," Emily said, and Monica, tears streaming, whispered, "Why help me? After everything?" Emily paused. "Because justice isn't just punishment. It's a shot at becoming better, if you grab it." Months later, Monica transformed, promoted in the program, speaking at galas about her turnaround. "I stole from kids to feed my addiction, blame Judge Harlan for calling me out, but she saved me by forcing the mirror." We attended one event. She hugged Emily on stage, the audience applauding this unlikely redemption. Back home, our block healed. Fundraisers for Bright Futures raised thousands. Mr. Wilkins started a watch group with a wink. No more secret felons on my watch. 3 years on, Monica visits, thriving as a reform advocate, her kids reconnecting, recidivism programs booming under her. "Jake, Emily, you turned my nightmare into purpose," she says, handing us a framed award photo. It's wild how resentment flipped to gratitude, but Emily muses, "Change sticks when it's chosen, not forced. Monica proved that." Yet looking back, I wonder if roles reversed. Would I forgive so deeply, or cling to grudges like Monica first did? What about you? Ever had a neighbor war turn epic? Drop your stories below. Was the HOA tyrant justified, or is redemption always possible? Hit like if this blew your mind, subscribe for more real-life twists, and share. Truth's wilder than fiction, right?